you're just now tuning in, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell. GMS fam, the green room. Let's talk about it. Hey, yo, GMS fam, the green room. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the GMS show, man. You know, we start out every show with peace, love, positive energy, good vibes, passing them forward, hoping that you pass them along yourself, man. I hope everybody's doing good. GMS fam, tap into the live chat. Let me know you are in here. Pro Me Co, my guy. This man sent me some fire earlier today, by the way. If y'all don't know, Pro Me Co got some shit in the tuck, boy. I swear to God, that motherfucker. I played it. Please believe me, I played it, bro. I played it, and that was cold. Beat was cold, lyrics cold. We gonna link, man. We gonna do some shit real soon. Now, for my GMS fam who usually pull up, man. For one, y'all know I don't usually do a show on Tuesday, but what's going down today is Minnesota business. Now, I know a lot of y'all are from around all different places and shit, but this is where home is, and this is where things get, get a little bit tricky, man, with the local scene out here and people pushing forward to, build a brand and build a name for themselves. And, I've talked about it in the past on my show about like how the music scene and the entertainment scene is kind of run here, but at the same time, you can't run away from controversy. And it's always been, random beefs going on and people that, either hate on this or don't like this or have a problem with what's going on over here. And in this space, in this media space, things get a little tricky. People have, their what you call, I don't know, their dislikes for certain people's ways of doing things. Some may not do something a certain way. Some people may do shit their own way to try to promote their platform or to try to, improve out here. And a lot of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of people don't take the time to actually research or actually watch somebody or actually, pay attention to what somebody is doing. They kind of see the clicks and the little clips that are put out there and different opinions by other people and kind of run with it. And one of the things that I've been seeing lately about a platform out here in Minnesota that's been moving up very exponentially over the past year or two is Live on Lake Street. And I see a lot of things that have been said and things like that about that platform. But, for me, it's different because I know the man that's hosting the show. That's somebody who I consider a friend, somebody who I actually talk to behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? We talk more behind the scenes than, you know, on social media. So it's like seeing certain things about him, you know, I'm not the type of person to just go out and jump to his defense every time, because it's like, first of all, that's a grown man. You can handle your own shit. You know what I'm saying? He knows that as well. I don't expect the same for him, anything like that. But when there's narratives being spread and you have the opportunity to clarify those things, because you do know a person, you should go out of your way, or you should make it a point to, you know, when you have the voice or have a platform, to correct those type of things. Now, I say that, you know, without trying to sound biased, because I'm not trying to be biased with this situation, because I don't know Prince Kumi personally. I've never met him, anything like that. This is actually really my first real impression of Prince Kumi, was this interview that they had. And the interview made its rounds all through Minneapolis, St. Paul, wherever people were at, whoever tunes in to Live on Lake Street. Matter of fact, you know, GMS fam, do me a favor and go ahead and you know, subscribe to, you know, Live on Lake Street and check their interviews out, man. My guy Jake really does a great job at conducting interviews and doing what he does. Now, we're gonna get to this, because this was a very entertaining interview, and it was very interesting to hear how this went down. And I want to play this interview for you, and it may, I'm not trying to, you know, play it in its entirety, but there's a lot there's a lot to speak on through this entire thing. So without further ado, I want y'all to see. As a matter of fact, let me give you a little bit of let me not do it like that. I want to give you a little bit of backstory, as much as I know, because I don't have all the information of why these two don't like each other. I just know that they don't like each other, and it's very well known in the city that they don't like each other. But they actually went and took it upon themselves to, you know, conduct an interview with each other, and, well, not with each other, but more so invite one on the other's platform and talk about what's going on. So I just want to play some of this and give you a view of what was happening, especially the people over here in my world in the GMS show, so y'all see what's going on out here in Minnesota. This is Jake right here. Prince Kumi is the guy that he's interviewing, and this is how their interview went down. Let's speak on this.
A special guest in the building.
Appreciate that.
Prince Kumi is here.
Appreciate that.
So,
Hey, shout out to you,
my first question for you.
my G.
What makes you want to come do this show? A show that you seemingly for the last year have used on your own platform, seemingly in a negative light.
It takes everything in me to not come across the other side of this table and introduce myself to you. But I know that whatever that means.
What do you mean by come across the other side of this table?
I leave that up for interpretation.
Wait, so you're starting this interview by telling me that you want to fight me?
I wouldn't say that. I would say that I would like to introduce myself to you. I think a lot of people in St. Paul would like to introduce themselves to you.
How would you take that, first and foremost? I just want to know. I just want to know how y'all would take that if somebody said they want to come across the table and introduce themselves to you. How would you take that? And I also wish that he would have just kind of doubled down on his point, because it's very clear what he was trying to say, but he was like, leave it to interpretation. No, fuck interpretation, man. Just say you want to hop across the table and smack Jake in his face. Just say it. Fuck it. Why not?
And what's the reason for that?
You.
What's me?
I mean, the way you represent journalism, in some instances.
You definitely don't watch the show then.
In some instances, it's tacky.
Give me one instance.
You got on this show and said that you hate white people. That's crazy.
I just sat down with a very prominent black leader and asked him if that made sense to him, and he said it did.
For a white man to say that he hate white people, if I got on front of this camera and I said that I hate black people, I probably would lose all my credibility.
That you just compared apples to oranges.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think I answered your question.
Now, real quick, I have to speak on that, because Jake has told me himself with his own words that he does not like white people. Now, this isn't out of the ordinary because I've heard this before from other white people. They speak on a specific type of white person. If Jake didn't like white people as a whole, you would know. But it's very clear what he's talking about, and it's very clear what he means by that. And we've had plenty of conversations about a lot of things that's happened in society, especially with, with the community. This is just it's not out of the ordinary for him specifically. Now, although Prince was absolutely right with what he was saying, as far as if he was to come out and say he didn't like black people, what would happen to him and his career and that's true. But at the same time, it's not in the same lens. Jake is looking at it from the lens of, he's not trying to be performative. He's not trying to be like, yeah, I don't like white people because I hang around black people. No, he's saying it because of what has actually took place in this country. And I commend him for that. I fuck with him for it, not just for that, but it's like things like that without having to be said or to even have the conversation going on. Like, this will be something that'll be just, brought up in simple conversation, just talking about random shit. I don't think Jake has ever changed up or tried to do anything just to try to make black people feel comfortable or just so he could fit in. That's never been the type, and I've known Jake for years now. That's never been his character, in my opinion.
But I don't get what is your disdain with me saying that I don't like white people?
I mean, you would have to make that make sense. A white man saying that he doesn't like white people.
Well, I mean, you live in the same world I do.
I mean, I've already answered that question. But I think also Live on Lake Street is a black-owned company. Obviously, you guys got a partnership. However you guys do that,
right.
I really respect Southside Chief Emmanuel. I'm very spiritual. Emmanuel means God with us, and so I believe that with the right messaging, it says that the message grabs hold of every ear it gets whispered in. I think with the right messaging, we can get Southside Chief to open up the funnel for St. Paul and also change the direction of the platform.
What do you mean by open up the funnel through? Like, we're very inclusive. Like, nobody over here is blackballing St. Paul. Like,
there's a lot of prominent people in St. Paul.
A lot of my favorite artists are from St. Paul.
There's a lot of prominent people in St. Paul who would pay and love to be on this platform.
Okay.
And to have a funnel to a direct line to St. Paul from the best journalists in St. Paul would be in Southside Chief's best interest. Emmanuel, God with us.
I don't understand. Well, two things. One, I don't understand what is your disdain with me?
I don't have a disdain.
What have I done to you?
I don't have a disdain with you personally. I think that what you do is, so on the one hand, I think that your
it seemed a little personal in the beginning when you said you wanted to hop across the table, my guy. Prince Kumi is in the building. Shout out to Prince Kumi in the chat. He said, "This is dope. Keep pushing the city. Appreciate you, bro. You do the same as well. We're gonna keep going."
It's tacky, but then on the other hand,
you still haven't answered why it's tacky. Because I said I don't like white people.
And then on the other hand, I think that your journalism is necessary for the culture. You've helped push this culture forward. And that right there is admirable.
Right, but I don't understand so your only issue with me is, one, that I'm white, and two, that I've said that I don't like white people.
I mean, I don't know if you being white has a big factor to doing anything. I think that your journalism, in a lot of ways, is tacky.
You keep saying my journalism. Explain to me what the fuck you're talking about.
I mean, when you talk about what you did with Dub J when he was up here, that was
I did with Dub J?
I mean, just the way that you center your questions, I think that they present a problem for St. Paul. And what we have going to St. Paul is sacred to me.
What is it? I don't understand. What? So wait. So now, you're doing the thing that people outside of journalism do. You're supposed to be a journalist, so you're supposed to be on my team. You're supposed to be on my side. Dub J answers questions how he answers questions. Mm-hmm. It's my job to ask them.
Right.
So I ask questions, and then the way he answers them is my fault.
I mean,
go talk to Dub J. Interview Dub J then.
I mean, what you did in the barbershop world, you created a riff in the barbershop world.
Now, before we get to the barbershop world, I just want to say this. I've spoke about this before on this show. When it comes to certain people that do interviews or people that talk about shit and want to, give more information than they should. People who interview you have the right to ask whatever question they want to ask you, depending on your conversation beforehand. You have the choice to answer them the way that you do. So if that's like when people go to Vlad, right? Vlad can ask police ass questions if you want. It's up to the nigga that he's interviewing to say, nah, I don't want to answer that. Or just totally ignore the question. But a lot of these niggas want to prove something and they want to say something to somebody or try to get a message across or try to act like the toughest motherfucker out here. So they'll say some shit that inevitably will put them in a position to have to look behind their back everywhere they go. So I wouldn't put whatever's happening in the street on live on Lake Street or on Jake because people are deciding to say certain shit that they know is going to put them in a weird position in life.
Barbershop world.
Absolutely.
What did I do in the barbershop world?
I mean, let's just document what you did. But I mean, there's real barbers who deserve flowers. You know, there's real barbers who deserve.
Giving a lot of them flowers.
I mean, I'm not saying that you haven't. A shout out to Akeem, he's been up here. But I mean, there's barbers like B Cole, Fat Man, who's my daughter's goddad.
And what is your point?
Chapman.
What's
a lot
your
of
point?
different barbers, you know, that's really pushing.
This is Jake Faircloth and Prince Kumi from Minnesota. This is where I'm from, and this is the things that's going on around here in the city. And they set the city on fire yesterday with this interview, and I wanted to review it. My guy Antoine, appreciate you for pulling up.
Oh, so you're upset with me because I haven't interviewed every fucking barber?
No, I mean it's not your job. We got other platforms like Motivation to Hustle, Say No More, Top 3.
What about them?
We all could do that work.
You are talking in circles, bro. You are making no sense. You're not answering my question.
What's your question?
You're upset with me because of what I did in the barber world.
I think that you,
which is a wild thing to say because I didn't do anything in the barber world.
I think that you caused a lot of rifts, unnecessary rifts for no reason.
How did I do that?
The way you ask questions.
The way I ask questions.
Absolutely.
So, first of all,
Prince said he's going to run for mayor in 2040. So, an episode on reparations will be in his favor.
I have interviewed more barbers than any other platform, personally. I've had multiple barbers on my previous platform and on this platform.
Shout out to the Wiseman Show.
I have relationships with
big
many
shout
barbers.
out to the Wiseman.
My wife is a barber.
Right.
So shout out to Jake's wife too.
What you're saying right now,
clean cuts,
it holds zero weight. It makes no sense.
I mean, there's real barbers in the barber industry that deserves flowers like New York, out of St. Paul, Tiffany, Don Julio.
I will say this. People were talking about how many people Prince was shouting out yesterday, and trust me, he was shouting out a lot of people. But I believe in Jake's line of thinking, he's feeling like he's being blamed for things that he can't control. And it shouldn't be up to Jake to or causing a rift. Let's say causing a rift in the barber community. These are things that I don't know. I don't think Jake feels like he's done. It's just been more so people having a problem probably with the people that are being interviewed and feeling like they deserve to have a platform to speak about the things that they're doing because they're working hard. That's the one thing I want to say about Minnesota artists. Don't ever take away from the fact that you've been putting in a lot of work because you're not on a certain platform or so-and-so isn't posting you or so-and-so isn't talking about you or trying to invite you on their show. Continue to work hard, man, because the only eyes and ears that exist do not only exist in Minnesota. There's a lot of places outside of this state. Trust me, I know. This platform here, the GMS show, is not out here trying to achieve any type of local fame. The local shit is local shit. And that goes for these gentlemen as well. I don't think that their mindset is local only. I think people need to understand that, man. Don't try to only think local or try to only expect local people to fuck with you. This world is big, man. This world is big, and a lot of people out there that haven't heard or haven't seen what you've done. Keep putting that work in. Let's keep going.
To talk name drop barbers?
I mean, not to name drop barbers, but to do an interview. This is just live on Lake Street.
Right, but you're not answering the questions.
I'm answering your questions.
No, you're telling me names of barbers.
St. Paul
explain to me how I personally created a rift in the barber world.
I mean,
I created a rift in your world. No, you ain't like that.
No, I don't think that. I think that
and you became selfish.
No, I think that you did 1,500 views in the barber world, predominantly because of Prince Kumi. unnecessarily when the barber industry is booming right now. We got barbers that's starting barber schools. We got barbers that's starting YouTube channels. We got barbers that's just with LeBron, Melly P out there in Atlanta.
Yeah, I've interviewed Melly. I have a personal relationship
shout out
with
to Melly P out there. He was out there
great.
for LeBron's birthday.
Right.
I mean, there's real stuff going on.
And Melly will sit in front of your face and tell you that you're wrong about me. So stop, you're bringing up names of people that I have relationships with, that I've interviewed. So
shout out to Ephraim. I mean, he just took over Privilege too.
That's great. All that is great.
Man,
Shout out
that's
to
amazing.
them. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And guess what? This platform isn't going anywhere. So all of those people may or may not get an interview at some point.
Yeah.
We haven't interviewed everybody.
Absolutely.
So that's one. Two, you just try to take credit for view. Here we are again. You doing the same thing that you were doing back then, and you're still talking about it, still thinking about it. You are taking credit for the views on an interview from a barber. I didn't say your name. She didn't say your name. Your name was not mentioned. You don't get to take credit for that. The only reason that you were even mentioned in that story is because you mentioned yourself.
Shout out to Mama Barber too. Mama Barber, she's doing her thing, and I accidentally had a schedule conflict, so I couldn't get her on.
I can't lie. I'm a little disappointed that Prince would not attack those when those things were brought to him, because just to the person, the average person listening, they're just gonna think that he was dodging it because he didn't know what to say. And honestly, hey, what else can I say in that moment? Jake is laying out facts about certain situations, and what I think is there's a perception here. There's a perception. There's a person that is sitting across from Jake who doesn't actually know him personally, but has a perception and has convinced themselves of that perception. So certain things, you just let me keep
On
going.
my platform, she's a
Matter of fact, I'm gonna skip forward. Let me skip forward a little bit. I'm gonna skip forward just a little bit. The interview is very interesting, but let me skip forward just a little bit, just so you can hear more of the dialogue.
and really compete against Atlanta. Right now, Atlanta is leading in the financial literacy space, and we need to try to close that gap because they already beat us in the entertainment industry for the most part because of tacky journalism. But if we could put it, if we could
calling my man
clean
tacky.
stuff.
Do you know how dumb you sound when you sit here and tell me that I'm a tacky journalist when you're on my platform? You wanted to come sit here with me. So why did you choose to come sit here with a tacky journalist?
Because two things could be true. On the one hand, there's some things about you that are tacky, but then there's some things about you that are
There's nothing
admirable.
about me that's tacky.
Okay.
You're incorrect.
I could see how you could say that you're Jake Faircloth. I mean, we're the two of the biggest journalists in the state.
No, I am the biggest. You are not even close to second.
That's why I'm here.
Right. So you came here to use the platform?
I came here because I was invited to
But then
come on
t-
the
but
platform.
then t- but
you
then
have
tell
to be
me-
you have to be a part of the who's to be invited onto a platform.
Right. But then,
especially a platform like this.
or are you just here because it's going to be good controversy?
I mean, but that too, whatever it is. But you have to be somebody, and,
Right.
I,
That
and
could be
obviously
true.
I earned
That could be
and
true
I'm
too,
the face
Fashawn.
of St. Paul, and you might be the face of Minneapolis if you're not Trap Right Malik. I don't know, but I mean, I know that for sure that I'm the face of St. Paul. Shout out to Say No More. Shout out to Top 3. We all pushing a hard line in the podcast space.
What's your favorite interview?
Shout out to
What's your
FOD.
favorite Say No More interview?
The one that he did with the Rose young lady, the rapper. That's the one. That's the only one that I watched. But he just did one with NLU, Migo. I think that was a good one too. You know, that's
You didn't watch that one.
That's St. Paul Gold. I seen the trailer, but that's St. Paul Gold. Him talking about with the YSL thing going on. Them talking about RICO indictments and stuff like that. He's pushing a hard line. I don't know.
I don't think you watch other platforms.
I don't watch him as much. I don't watch him as much as I should. But I watch mine.
What's your favorite interview?
mind
What's
my
your
own
favorite Live on
business.
Main Street episode?
The one with Free God Savvy. Shout out to Free God Savvy.
You just
man.
named out the person that you know.
Shout out to Free God Savvy. You know, he did this.
Jared Will said, next time I'm in public and the motherfucker asks me a question I don't want to answer, I'm going to just give random shout-outs.
thing up here. Shout out to Taylor.
Hey, man, how you get downtown to the Fouché building? Shit, shout out to Jesus. Shout out to my brother, my cousin, nigga. Shout out to, hey, hold up, man, I'm just asking you a question. How do you get down? I said shout out to my mama. Shout out to my auntie. You gonna confuse the fuck out of me. Hey, say, let me get away from this crazy.
You're proving that you don't actually know what
I just watched the one girl too, Nakara Forget. and the audio was bad. And
that was like the third interview we ever
That's
did.
what I liked about it. So I could see the growth that you guys made. So I have watched some of those episodes. Like that was the recent one I watched. I just was on a show with her, and I ran into Melvin Carter, who I also cut his hair. And in 2040, I will be running for mayor for St. Paul. I got to get that out there.
Why 2040?
I'll be 40 years old that year. So we putting everything into place.
I highly encourage that, by the way. I highly encourage him to stay on that path. Prince, if you hear me, stay on the path of that. And I'm not saying just that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if that's one of your goals in life, I hope that you push through with that and actually, want to create some type of change in the city that you care about. I appreciate that type of thing where people actually want to put themselves in a position to try to make some type of change instead of being on the internet and just talking about it.
We thinking 10 years ahead right now. Shout out to OGMG2, Danny Givens.
Yeah.
Teaching me the game.
So you mentioned bad audio. What happened to Chief's interview?
Oh, man, listen. That's a good question that you brought that up, man. Man, Chief, man, I think
what
that
happened was the mics and the.
But with that situation in that interview, Chief had.
That was your latest interview, right?
Yep, that was the last time I did an interview.
So
Chief,
you're going backwards. We're going forwards.
So Chief, man, he Chief, I'm very professional, so that ain't gonna bother me.
What happened with the episode?
You got to step it up. That's tacky.
What happened with the episode?
But shout out to Emmanuel, man. It means God with us. But with us? What I was going to say was
God with us.
Our team spent about $500 to get Dolo in a room, and we invested a lot of money to build that relationship. And Southside Chief in that interview, he said that he called Dolo weird. And he said a couple things like that, and I just didn't want to jeopardize that relationship.
Is
that
Dolo
I built
weird?
with Dolo. Now, mind you, I told Southside, I said, or Emmanuel, God with us. I told him that with us. I told him that I said, hey, let's table this interview. Let's shelve this interview for a second, and let me get some consultation to see if it's okay to release. And I found out that I was wrong. If you come on my platform, whatever you say, you should be able to speak your mind. So I mean, I was wrong in that situation. But we did release that interview.
What do you mean you spent $500 to get Dolo in a room?
We took him to Baltimore, like a dinner.
And did what?
Networked with him, trying to build a relationship. This is the biggest.
You paid Dolo $500 to sit down and talk to him?
Absolutely, he deserves it even more. I wish I could have paid what it really cost to get him at the dinner. Absolutely, this is Dolo Harris.
Yeah, Dolo's great. I'm
packing the pitchies, man. I don't want to roll up a whole joint right now, man. I'm trying to stay focused and have my points together on this interview, man. Got to pack the
absolutely.
pitchies.
I would have paid whatever the ticket cost to get him in a room, and I didn't want to ruin that relationship by having somebody on there saying something salacious. But at the end of the day, maybe Southside Chief or Emmanuel, God with us, maybe he knows more than I knew, but I think that was wrong. I think that I should have went about that situation differently.
I want to say this real quick. One thing I was disappointed by, which you'll see a little bit more in this, was the fact that, there was a lot of shouting out, but it wasn't a lot of actually paying attention to those actual individuals as far as what I saw. Because when you asked if, he'll shout out people and you ask, hey, but did you interview them, or did you see the interview, or did you hear their latest song or their music? And he'll be like, no, I haven't heard it yet. One thing I'll say, right, is for one, you can't expect everybody to hear everything, okay? Everybody can't hear everything. But Jake is the type of person who will give it a chance. Whether you are trash or whether you are fire, he don't know until he hears it or sees what the fuck you got going on. And if he fucks with you, he will pay attention to the shit you got going on. This is what Jake has been doing for years. I'll tell you right now, the one reason why you will never hear me say anything negative, anything foul, anything about Jake or the platform he's on is because I have a very high level of respect for Jake. I'm somebody in this city who has been ignored for years. People didn't pay attention to what the fuck I had going on. Motherfuckers wasn't trying to hear the music. Motherfuckers wasn't trying to put me on shows. None of that shit. No platforms doing interviews or playing music was paying me any attention. the one person or the two people, matter of fact, shout out to Joe, my guy Joe. The Wiseman Show not only was the first platform in Minnesota that put me on to their show to give me an interview and actually display my music, but was the most, I was on the show the most times out of anybody that was ever on that platform. The person that wasn't buzzing, that wasn't hot at the time, that didn't have no big song out, that wasn't just buzzing through the streets, just because Jake fucked with me like that. Come on, bro. Come on to the show. We want people to get to know who you are. We want more people to get on to who GMS is. And that's why I have the utmost respect for him as an individual, because a lot of people wasn't giving me a chance. And when you talk about, you know, the white boy from Live on Lake Street, there's a lot of black artists out here and a lot of black promoters and black black platforms that I've reached out to. And I'm not, this is not me trying to diss them or anything like that, because I got love for them. And ain't nobody obligated to reach back out to me or obligated to throw me a bone or put me on their show. Let's make that very, 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 very clear. So I don't expect shit from people. But that's just the reality of the situation. And I'm still going to support those platforms, and I'm still going to reach out and let these people know that they doing a great job and still show love, because I'm not a hating ass nigga. Now, let's move forward a little bit. This part right here, when they talk about, this is probably like the, what did Jake say? The 300 and some time he called him tacky? Listen
Somebody to be a liaison to Minneapolis so that Minneapolis can know what we got going on. We got athletes. Shout out to Roosevelt Scott. Shout out to Brandon Bell. Shout out to Jordan Jet.
Yeah.
We got talent out there in St. Paul.
Yeah, we have talent all over the place.
Absolutely.
In Minnesota.
Absolutely.
The whole state of Minnesota.
Just the whole state for sure.
Yeah. I don't really separate the two.
I don't separate them either. But
You've done nothing but separate them.
I didn't separate them, and that's tacky journalism. What I'm doing is I'm a journalist for
Bro,
St. Paul.
listen to me.
So my job is to highlight St. Paul.
Listen to me.
Go ahead.
You have said tacky journalism to me 370 times since the start of this episode. I want to remind you, you started this episode by threatening me and then threatening me for other people. And I'm tacky. You said you want to come across the table and introduce yourself to me. Yeah. And other people in St. Paul do too. So you speak for other people in St. Paul.
Well, no, I know that I'm on Live on Lake Street, and I needed to make sure that I get my views up. So I mean, that's not how I really feel, but I know that it's Jake Faircloth. When you come on Jake Faircloth's show, you got to do the Jack. Hey, Jack, like Jay Estate did. You're Jack. You're really Jack. But I mean, we have to do that just because this is Live on Lake Street. It's not a prestigious platform when you're dealing with Jake Faircloth. Now, if I became a liaison with Emmanuel, the people that would come on, the people that can actually impact change, it'll be more prestigious.
So you want my spot?
Platform. I don't want your spot. I want a segment with Emmanuel to funnel St. Paul talent through the platform. I don't want nothing to do with you.
So, in other words, Kumi is saying we want a blackface representing this platform. Kumi is saying we are tired of seeing this bearded mayonnaise hip-hop loving motherfucker who hates white people. We want Emmanuel, God, for us. We want Southside Chief. We want a black man to be the face and the funnel of this movement. That's what I would have said in that moment, man. I can't hold back with shit like that. I'm not in the business of making white people feel comfortable. Jake knows that too. See, Jake don't like white people, so he knows that. I would have said what the fuck was on my mind. But see, that would apply to somebody who was a culture vulture, somebody who didn't earn their spot, somebody who actually didn't do the research or do the homework behind the shit that they were doing. We can have that venom for certain individuals, but in my opinion, I feel like this man earned his spot. He didn't just pop up on Live on Lake Street and they were like, hey, we need to find the nearest white boy to make sure that people watch. Nah, man. They put in, how many episodes the Wiseman put in before y'all made the switch? Come on, man. It's the wrong fight. We got to get the right people out of the culture. I just talked about this yesterday. People cosplaying black people. People who know that it's lucrative to be in a black space, so they utilize the space so they can try to profit off of it. People who genuinely don't give a fuck about the culture or what happens to it, but will make a profit off of it. I do not, and I wholeheartedly do not believe that is who Jake Faircloth is, but let's keep going.
This is all about
He can
building
speak
a
for
relationship
himself.
with Southside Chief. But I do respect what you do because we need that.
If you
type
don't
of,
want anything to do with me, that's the door's right fucking there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean that's true, but I would like to finish my interview and get my agenda.
Right, but
out to the
you're
people.
talking me out of giving a fuck. I don't care.
We knew everyone in this industry knows how you and I feel about each other. This is the best journalist from
No,
St.
they
Paul.
don't, because you don't
and
know. You
somebody
don't
in
even know how I feel
Minneapolis.
about you.
Who?
You don't even know. So how could everybody know?
This is the industry. I'm one of the biggest faces.
You
in
don't know
Minnesota.
how I feel about you.
I
You
do not.
cannot speak for me because
Why-
you don't know,
wait.
and I've never told you.
Well, you're right. I don't know how you feel about
So
me.
how the fuck could everybody else know?
I mean, it's obvious. This is going to do numbers.
What's obvious is you have been doing nothing but shouting out barbers and clothing lines and talking out of your ass this whole episode.
I would love to talk about some of the to St. Paul artists.
Great.
Move forward.
Who's your favorite St. Paul artist? Not
Oh,
your
man.
favorite now,
Here
your
we
favorite
go.
all time.
Man, I want to give the album of the year. Album of the year goes to from a journalistic standpoint, has to go to OGMG Danny Givens in terms of what he was able to do with that project.
Jan Weird is killing it right now. He said, shout out to Prince Kumi, type of nigga that'll tell you fuck you to your face and hand you a burger and fries after that. I said this, bro. This, matter of fact, I wrote this down in my notes. I said, Prince was the type to diss this nigga and then give him respect right after. Like, you said my man was a tacky journalist and then right after said that he was helping push the culture forward. In my opinion, there can't be an in-between, man. He's either fucking it up or he's not. He said, be honest, GMS. Has this conversation progressed at all since it started? No, it's never going to progress. It's going to be like this the entire time, all right? I'm warning you. I'm warning you now. I'm not holding nobody hostage. You don't have to be here. You don't have to. I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to laugh. This is a very interesting conversation, bro. It's a very interesting conversation because, like I said, this is happening in the city, and the fact that we know, like me and certain people out here know a lot about the scene out here and what's been going down. First of all, this interview was long overdue. I believe that they should have been did this and talked about it, and in Jake's words, as he'll say later, that he thought they were going to have a conversation to kind of change his mind about one another. But I feel like this was very strategic. This is very strategic. I think Kumi was doing this on purpose. Let's keep going.
Man, he just dropped a project. The best artist got to be Free God. The best song got to be Push the Gas.
Free God Savvy is not from St. Paul, sir.
Free God Savvy, Free God Savvy definitely is from St. Paul. But he definitely he's probably artist of the year.
Free God Savvy is from Louisiana.
Shout out Free
Okay.
Guy Savvy, man. That nigga be killing
He
shit.
represents St. Paul in Minnesota.
Yeah. Can you
So-
give me somebody? I love Free God. He's a phenomenal
Push the
artist.
Gas by what's the young blood name right there? What's his name? Push the Gas. I can't think of his name. You got my mind all
Yeah,
over
you're
the
letting
place.
St. Paul down right now.
No, Willa World K, man. Shout out to that was the best song of the year.
Hey,
Shout out to Squilliante 2 years ago.
I do want to say this. Jake is also the person that does not need a cell phone or any notes to talk about his favorite artist or his favorite songs or favorite platforms or entertainers in Minnesota. Just saying.
crazy album project. What was that
Drewski me.
called? Pick of the Litter. Man, gassing out the blue, man. We got some talent out there where we from. DB the Roster about to come out with Golden Tears. And Elio Skeet just did Off the Porch. Man, we pushing in St. Paul. We really pushing. I mean, you got Louis Blaze, you got Juice Lord. I mean, you got, Rocky. Corner Boy, my brother. Tarzan, Westside, Kobe, Couple Grand, Hit 'em UP, Rax, MOB. They just dropped a Freaky Frog drink. I'm going on rants. I'm giving out flowers. Shout out to Michi Curry. He came on our platform. He gave me my first 1,000 views.
Talking about what?
Talking about. Shout out to Coochie Man with the dance. We ain't got time for that. Shout out to Goldie Banks.
You are a wild
man. Shout
guy.
out to Cody Mexico. Shout out to Cloud9 Birdo. Man,
This is not a rant, by the
we
way.
doing good. This is a
You're
rant
not
for me.
ranting. You're just saying names.
It's a rant for me. I'm giving up flowers to the people that I seen
You're
really
just saying names.
that I seen really just doing their thing, man. Man, my brother Corner Boy, he
You
got
had
an album
Tarzan
coming
on,
out.
on Prince
I
Kumi
haven't
Live?
had Tarzan coming up, but
Juice Lord?
that's my mud brother. Juice Lord is my brother from St. Paul for sure.
He been on your platform?
No, they haven't been on my platform. My journalism expands just interviews.
You interviewed DB before?
Nope. But I'm probably gonna go behind the scenes and be in his
Louis?
house. I know DB personally.
Louis Blaze?
Louis Blaze was just at Rebrand 2. He did a performance for us.
Right.
Yeah, so
But you haven't interviewed any of them. You haven't
given.
given any of them your platform.
When you talk about giving them the interview, like I give them my presence, I give them my energy. They know me, they love me.
That's great, but how does that help them?
I'm helping them now. It's my time to shine.
You have a platform. You're a journalist. You're supposed to have these guys on your platform.
when you talk
They
about
won't do it?
When you talk about
Yeah, okay. I will say this. I will agree. Just being around somebody, your presence and your energy is not going to help any local artists progress or do anything better in their careers. If you're talking about giving them game and giving them tools and speaking to them about certain things that they can do to improve their situation that they don't know or that they can utilize to help them push forward, then I understand that. But just being around them just because they know you, that's not going to help progress anybody.
a marathon, we building something that's gonna last.
Share
100
Want to
years.
come sit with you?
We
You just say that.
we building something that's gonna last 100 years. They don't necessarily want to come sit with you. They won't, especially when we build our infrastructure.
This is how I know you're talking out of your ass. Bro, all the people I just named I have personal relationships with.
I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about the guys that I have personal relationships with that I named.
Including the guys you just named.
You don't know Corner Boy.
No, I don't.
And that's what I'm saying. Once we build out our infrastructure,
I know DB.
I do too. I've known them longer
I
than you.
know Louis.
But this ain't what we.
I know Juice. I
but
know all
we,
these.
we both are the two biggest
Right,
journalists.
but what I'm
in
saying
the
is
state.
you're saying shit to me about me that not only is inaccurate, but all the people that you're name dropping also know it's inaccurate.
Right.
So the things that you're saying about me are not true. They're not accurate. You are just here just to text, apparently.
No, I'm not here to text. I'm making sure that I get all the flowers out that I came for. I didn't come here to have a
Right.
All
All those guys have gotten their flowers here.
That's cool, but I'm talking about through the lips and the voice of Prince Kumi. I'm an instrument for my people.
That's wonderful.
Instruments.
They could tell where I'm going. You could
That's
tell where I'm going. I'm sitting right here.
I can't tell where you're
I'm
going.
sitting right here because I earned it.
Again, you are saying shit that you think that I know, but you're wrong. I can tell where you're going.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't. I can't.
The whole city can tell.
What city?
Both. Man, shout out
Kumi, they said you look like Killmonger Sr.
to Minneapolis.
There's a lot of cities.
Shout out to Minneapolis. They showed me. I mean, when you say Brooklyn Park and all these other different places, I'm just going to encompass all that with Minneapolis. But shout out to Minneapolis. They showed me a lot of love.
Yeah.
Monarch, Exchange, Gold Room. I don't pay to get in these places. They said that's Prince Kumi, let him in. That's just me, you know, and it means the world to me. And I don't have to have a white face to do that.
Ooh.
And I appreciate that. I've earned this off of just hard work and reputation.
What should I do about
Ooh. Jake. He said he did that without a white face. Cuz I felt that. Not in slight or in disrespect to you, Jake, but I felt that cuz like Jake knows black people got to work 10 times as hard just to try to get noticed out here. Right? He knows this. He knows that a white artist can pull up and talk about all the best artists out of Minnesota and name 10 white motherfuckers and no black artists at all. And then we have to work even harder to have people even try to notice us. But that's not to say that Jake didn't earn his spot where he's at. Jake put in the time, he put in the reputation, he put in the hours, the man hours, the not getting paid to do countless interviews, buying everything that you need to buy, going through, and this is another thing, man. The reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of y'all don't even know the personal shit. When I say Jake's my friend, I know shit that niggas don't know. Meaning the public that only see the Live on Lake Street or the Wiseman or the interviews. There is shit that this man went through in his personal life while dealing with all this shit and feeling like all the work he's put in was for nothing. Only to have this thing come around and give him another battery in his back. So I would be selling him short if I didn't explain any of that. But I also understand where Prince was coming from. And I said this is an unbiased review of what's going on because I do understand where Prince is coming from, but Prince doesn't actually know Jake personally to make these assumptions about him. It's cool to say these things, but I know it's directed towards Jake. The fact that it's something that I've personally experienced in my career, you know, I felt that. I felt what he meant. But you have to pay attention to everything around that.
About being white, in your opinion?
You shouldn't. It's nothing that you can do.
Oh.
You was born that way.
Okay.
It's nothing that you can do, and I don't think that your
So when I go to Monarch and they want to let me in for free, I should say no, sir, I'm white.
No,
Here's my entry fee, or
no,
what?
No, I think that's tacky. I think that you're trying to get me to say.
And let me say this: Best Member said he's never dealt with police brutality. Trust me, he knows that. Jake knows he's a guest in the culture, but he's also putting in the work. He's also doing the homework. He's also doing what he's supposed to do to make sure that he's not being the type of person that he inevitably is being made out to be. He knew that this would be a thing. If you're on a platform that is in the culture surrounded of black people, you know that this is coming. You know it's coming. I just can't discredit. I won't have him be discredited knowing the type of things that he's done. And me and Kumi actually talked about it earlier. We most likely will have a sit down with me and him because I don't know him. I know Jake. So I would like to understand his point of view of, you know, the scene and what's going on out here and why certain things are happening and why he feels a certain way about these certain things. That's what I want to know. So yeah, that's going to happen for sure.
Or believe something.
No, I'm trying to make you understand that what you're saying is dumb as shit.
I mean,
that's it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that there's people who are white that are reasonable and responsible and allies.
I'm one of them. That's what I'm saying is you're talking crazy because what you're saying, if you think that that's not true about me, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
I mean, I don't know if that's, I don't know. I think a lot of people have opinions about you. And I think that a lot of people have opinions about me.
And that's okay with me.
Appreciate
That's okay with me.
I have
we
no,
two of the biggest,
I have no
biggest
problem.
journalists.
I have
we're two of the
no
biggest
problem.
journalists in Minnesota.
I have no problem.
I'm
People having an opinion about me.
Me neither.
But if you're going to sit in front of my face and tell me an inaccurate opinion, an opinion
Yeah.
that's not true about me,
Right.
then I'm going to tell you that.
Right.
Or should I just sit here and let you think some dumb foul shit about me that's not true?
I mean, I don't think the interview is supposed to be about me. So when you do an interview, you're supposed to ask me questions about me. And I'm not here
but
to.
But you know that I didn't even want to do this interview.
Duh.
I don't like you.
So did you just say earlier that you did? Did you? I don't know how you felt.
Jake said, I don't like you. I think this is the first time I've ever heard in an interview the interviewee or the person giving the interview telling the person they're interviewing that they don't like them.
It's supposed to be about me. So when you do an interview, you're supposed to ask me questions about me. And I'm not here
but
to.
But you know that I didn't even want to do this interview. I don't like you.
So did you just say earlier that you did? Did you? I don't know how you felt. We both know that we don't like each other, but we know that this is good for the industry. So the reason why I came here is because I know it's good for the industry.
Maybe it is, but I'm an authentic human being. And the truth is, I was hoping we could sit down here and maybe have a good conversation and maybe change my opinion on you, and that is not happening. It's not gonna happen.
We please understand that. See, and you see, this is what you said. Then why do it? Because the man's last name isn't Faircloth for no reason. He's a fair guy. He's a fair person. And on top of that, thinking logically, he doesn't know Prince Kumi at all. Like you said earlier, Best Member said he doesn't know Kumi either, of course. So instead of having this weird animosity towards each other and have this weird beef between each other. Hey, let's sit down and have a conversation to try to understand each other and maybe find some common ground. But when you start the interview by saying it's taking everything in you to not come across the table to introduce yourself to somebody, you kind of set the tone. We can't forget about that. See, if Prince would have opened the interview by saying, I know you don't like me, I don't like you, we've had problems in the past, but we also don't know each other. Let's try to find some common ground and find out why, X, Y, and Z. But this is entertainment, and they knew, like Prince said. Prince has also said that this was also for entertainment. This was going to set the city on fire. This is going to do numbers. The interview right now is at 3.1K views, and this is just Minnesota shit. Also very happy for my guys over there at Live on Lake Street, and also happy for Kumi because it's going to do good things for him regardless of how people took the interview or what opinion they have of him. He's still somebody out here trying to do something and try to make a platform. Regardless of what it is, this is gonna help him, good or bad. Now, I have to play this part. Hold on, wait. I gotta finish this.
I mean, that's fine. You're not the gatekeeper here.
I don't want to be a gatekeeper.
I mean, you're not. You don't have any real influence here. We're giving you our platform. We're giving you our voice in our city with our craft and our culture.
Who's giving me a platform?
We are.
Who's we?
We are. It's Emmanuel with us. He was born Emmanuel. His name is Emmanuel. That means with God with us.
Okay, so what you're saying is
He's saying, white boy, we gave you this culture to sit down in front of us. Say it with your chest, Prince. White boy. That's why I keep waiting. I keep waiting on that shit. When I was listening to this shit, that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for Prince to just say, fuck it. Listen here, white boy. We gave you this shit.
You and Chief are partners, and y'all.
I'm not saying.
Or am I the host of Live on Lake Street?
You're definitely the host of Live on Lake Street. You're definitely the co-partner of Live on Lake Street. You definitely have equity in Live on Lake Street.
Oh, okay.
No one can erase that from you. I'm not saying that about you. But at any given time, when Southside Chiefs wants to bring the city together, and
he did want to do that,
and it's not too late for that. But once he
did want to do that. He did that, and he chose me to do it.
And I get that, but I'm saying, but he has the ability to put all the podcast
because much like all the people that you have named. He's one of the people that knows that what you're saying about me, all this bullshit, not true.
And it's good.
It's inaccurate.
And it's good for TV. But anyway, once Southside Chief decides to stand on his role as somebody who's been on TMZ, as somebody who has a resume as deep as his, and somebody who has the skill set as deep as his to put together like what Motivation to Hustle tried to do, and put all the platforms, podcast platforms together, and bring all that ingenuity together, we're gonna go way further. And a lot of it has to do with everybody trying to wrap their arms around you. You're the problem in terms of all the platforms coming together. No one likes you. That's just the truth. But the thing about it is, to your advantage. Hold on. To your advantage. I mean, we need you. We need a white person to do what the white people do.
You want to know what's funny?
And I don't say that from a racial lens. I'm saying what you see, what they do in the media.
You double down, Prince. Golly. It's like 1 minute he's trying to bring the disrespect, and then he's trying to clean it up. It's like, man, just go ahead, just be authentic in your disrespect. God damn it, fuck. But damn, I don't even know what I was gonna say now, man. That shit fucked me up. Man, look,
the industry. From the beginning of the time, we need that.
I'm hearing the influence of all these other people coming out of your mouth.
Once we get Trap Right, Motivational Hustle, Prince Kumi Live, Top 3 Podcast, Say No More, Live on Lake Street, and FOOD all in the same room, we're gonna grow.
Listen, I want to be very clear about this. I'm gonna say this for the camera, for the mic, okay? For the camera and for the mic, so everybody can hear this. I have zero problem.
You asking if Kumi's FBA?
Wayne. On Say No More podcast.
Shout out to Wayne.
I have zero problem with Fresh or Tony on Motivation to Hustle. I love the Boy Girl podcast, everybody involved with it. The Wholesome podcast, I'm new to. I like them a lot. I like White Table Talks, I think he's better than you by about a fucking million miles. So for you to say you're number 2 is wild, because he might be better than me.
What up, Soda?
So that's all that.
He said that you look like you had dreads or something.
So all that, I like all of those people. All of those people have had my support for many, many years.
Right.
And have supported me for many, many years.
Right.
It wasn't until I came here, that those guys started having a problem with me. The only person in the media industry in Minnesota that I don't like is you, and it's not because of your journalism. It's not because of your journalism.
But that's what.
It's because you're a narcissist,
Yeah.
and you don't know what you're doing, and you're trying to do some shit that isn't working, and now you're here trying to portray that on this platform.
It's not working.
And I know that you're going to have your little minions that support you unconditionally that are going to come here and they're, no, Jake's this, Jake's that, Kumi's right. I know they're coming, and that's fine.
Appreciate that.
That's
Shout out
fine.
to Prince Kumi Live
I
supporters.
don't
We
mind
going
them
for
at
May
all.
2040.
But the truth of the matter is, the person you are portraying me to be is absolutely inaccurate. And the people that know me, which is many people that you've mentioned, know that that's true. So as long as those people love me and support me and care about me, I'm good. But you're not going to come here on my platform and tell me who I am, because you don't know me.
Right.
You don't know me. And you didn't dislike me until this little Britty situation, which lets me know a lot about you.
You know,
And that's when I decided, this guy, not for me. Out. And why I didn't want to do this interview. And yes, we chose to allow you to come up here because, yes, I felt like it would be entertaining. And I wanted to say some of this shit to your face. And you've done nothing to change my mind whatsoever since you've been sitting
I
over
don't
there.
know how much your mind's changing has to do with anything. You're not a valid source or
No,
an
I
authority.
absolutely am.
My name is Prince Kumi, and one of the biggest things that our platform is trying to do is do blue check verification. So we're trying to get artists, thought leaders, entrepreneurs blue check verified.
That's
we
great.
have a very
You can pay for that now.
we have
I like the little segue he did there. He moved away from that real quick. But we're gonna move right back in to where they left off at, because I feel like, Jake made a statement and he said, "Oh, you're mad because you want my spot," or something along the lines of that. Listen, to
all these people helped me rebrand the platform, and we're gonna be competitive in 2023. I mean, we're putting together so much. We're putting together
with air.
we putting together so much for the community. We're gonna be competitive in the podcast space going forward. You have that seat right there for now, but it won't be this way in the next year or so. I believe that Southside Chief Emmanuel will expand.
Who's going to be here?
I mean, I think that it's going to be an expansion. I mean, you have to expand. I mean, you can't keep this format going. I mean, like I said, I got people that's willing to pay right now from St. Paul. And if I'm talking money, I can't see, and being a liaison, I got people that want to pay right now, whatever it costs to be on the platform. They just don't know how to get in touch with you guys because for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a website, whatever it is, but they willing to pay. And
It's really tough to get a hold of people these days, I know.
I'll be a perfect liaison to be able to funnel people from St. Paul to Live on Lake Street. And some people want to be on the platform. They just don't want you interviewing them because they don't want to waste their time. Because some people you do give professional interviews to, and then some people you're just looking for salacious clickbait content, bro. Which is your thing, which is cool. It's just not my thing. That's not our thing. It doesn't move. It doesn't move the culture forward.
Yeah.
It's Jake Faircloth. It's your signature. There's nothing wrong with that.
now, I believe that perspective comes from the clips that Live on Lake Street decide to post to promote their interviews. Now, I'm never here to tell you how to run your platform. You can agree or disagree with how I do shit or how somebody else does shit, but forming your opinion around an entire platform and a whole person because of the way that they promote their interviews, to me, is still unfair. You can say it's clickbait and they do the whatever and try to over sensationalize. Okay, cool. But do you actually watch the interviews? Do you actually take the time to do so? And Prince Kumi admitted that he only seen a couple interviews from Live on Lake Street.
It's absolutely correct.
It's so funny. It's funny to me, your perception. Listening to your perception of me and this platform in front of my face is so crazy to me because that is so far from the truth. And it lets me know that and you already told me, you don't watch the episodes.
I just named at least 10 episodes that I watched.
But you don't watch, you named one. And then you told me another one that you watched all you could handle.
So I didn't say Nakara.
Yep.
I didn't say I watched that one.
Yeah, that was about episode 3. We've done 200.
I mean, what else do you want
We
me
didn't
to
even
say?
know what this platform was going to be when we did that interview.
What do you want me to say, brother? I mean, I don't watched a lot of episodes, but I'm not finna. I mind my own business. Shout out to digitalflyers.com. It's the it's the biggest flyer directory
I think you're missing
in the world.
I think you're missing my point.
What's the point?
The
What
point
up,
is
CDT?
that everything that you just said is inaccurate, and that shows in the episodes. I give everybody a professional episode. Everybody gets a professional interview. I'm not searching for salacious shit. I don't have to search for it. If it's there, it's there.
I mean, I just watched the episode.
And
you
that's
did-
not
you just
who
did
I
you
am
just
or
did
what I
You just
am.
did an interview with Jack Bentley, and in some point of that interview, he had made a comment of the free world, and you just got to talking crazy. But it's your thing. It's your thing, like you were saying.
Right,
something
but that's authentically me.
and it's
That's not me looking for salacious shit. That's me not.
But that's what I said. It's your signature. It's you.
That's not my signature. That doesn't happen every episode.
I'm saying that's why I said there are some people who get a professional episode, a professional interview from you, like the Brady D. You get I mean, it depends on what they look like sometimes with you, maybe. But some people get a professional episode with you, and some people get the bull. And I mean, don't nobody want that. I mean, it depends. I mean, when Hollywood was up here, brother, you talked to her about absolutely nothing for 13 minutes. No one got to know more about her music. No one knows what her Instagram is. No one knows what her Twitter is. As a journalist, you're supposed to lead the conversation and open up the
They
floor
put all
for
that
people
in the
to know.
description.
When I left that interview of listening to Hollywood, I knew nothing more about her.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay.
You came up here and talked to Taylor Rouge about what?
Wow.
What did you promote?
That Taylor interview was great.
Oh my God! I mean, it just depends. Now, if you think that's great, cool. Now, that's some people that get good interviews from.
How was your interview with her?
I never got one.
Oh, damn.
I never got one. And shout out to Taylor Rouge. Taylor Rouge, I would love to have an interview from you. I mean, whatever that means. But I mean, I have a relationship with her. You know what I mean? I have a relationship with her. So it's like, so I don't really know. I'm not trying to. We all know who's bigger. We don't have to.
You keep saying it. I don't give a fuck.
We don't have to
You
go
keep-
there.
you
They
keep-
know who's bigger. The city. I'm the face of my city.
That's great.
I don't know if you're the face of your city.
That's great.
You ain't doing spelling bees. I don't know what you're doing.
How'd you like the spelling bee?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
How was it?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
But
This you ain't doing spelling bees, white boy. Yo, hey, I will say this, man. Prince Kumi knew how to keep it entertaining, even though he knew Jake didn't like his ass through the whole shit. He was saying some funny shit. Then Jake would counter and be like, "Oh, okay, cool. Did you watch the spelling bee? No, I didn't get a chance." You not doing spelling bees. I mean, I ain't watched the spelling bees, but I'm gonna tell you about the spelling bee.
I seen what they were doing, and they're doing something, and they're pushing the culture
You
forward.
sure got a lot of opinions on shit that you don't actually watch.
Because I'm minding my own business. Shout out to digitalflyers.com, the largest flyer directory
What's
in
your
the
favorite
world.
podcast in the world?
I like Earn Your Leisure, stuff that's gonna push my people forward.
That's your favorite?
Absolutely.
You
Earn Your
listen
Leisure.
every week?
I don't listen every week.
Who's the greatest journalist on the planet?
Georgia Fort.
On the planet.
Georgia Fort out of St. Paul is the greatest journalist in the world. That's who I watch every day. That's who I check on every day. That's who I try to sharpen my sword with. That's who I watch every day. That's who I hope I get to work with every day. That's who I shadow. That's who I try to make proud. I do not try to make you proud. When I do not care about your opinions. I don't care about any of these other things. But look, we probably already talking. I got precious
He ended
time.
his own
I'm
interview.
running for mayor in 2040. Jake, man, it's been a pleasure sitting down with you.
My man
name
ended
is
his
Prince
own
Kumi.
interview.
Prince Kumi live on all platforms. PRINCEKUMI.
Watch this.
I think I just took over Jake Faircloth show.
Yeah. Another episode of Live on Lake Street. I'm Jake Faircloth. Move on my camera. Follow me everywhere at Jake Faircloth 1.
INCEKUMI.
He tried to shake my man's hand. He said, "Get out my
Jake
camera."
Faircloth show.
Yeah. Another episode of Live on Lake Street. I'm Jake Faircloth. Move on my camera. Follow me everywhere at Jake Faircloth 1.
Okay. All right. Now you have it, man. Oh, man. Very entertaining interview, man. Very entertaining for Minnesota as well. One thing I will say, man, let me just go over a couple few points, man. One thing that I see people that they have a problem with when it comes to Live on Lake Street is the fact that, you know, people pay to get on their platform. Now, here's the thing. Nobody's holding anybody hostage or making anybody pay anything. You can go out here and say, hey, we charge for interviews, put up a price, and whoever decides to do so does so. And people are talking about whether or not it's doing something for people's careers or not. Hey, man, as far as I'm concerned, Live on Lake Street and platforms as such to have been putting a spotlight on certain artists, regardless of the content behind the interviews or whatever you want to say about it. And on top of that, it's okay to have people see the value in a platform that's not yours. If people are paying to do interviews, then they see a value in that platform, and that's cool, regardless if you see it or not. That's not up to me. That's not up to, you know, Kumi. That's not up to anybody else out here in the city. It's up to the artists and the entertainers and whoever want to go on that platform and pay to be on it. You can't try to knock people hustle just because it's working for them. You know what I'm saying? And people create these narratives so that they can feel better about not liking a certain entity sometimes. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's Prince Kumi, but I'm just saying this is a lot of the things that I've seen out here in Minnesota. The hate will come out of nowhere. It'll just spawn. Somebody will have something to say negative about something you're doing, and then that's where it sparks from, and that's how shit goes from there. Now, although I feel like these guys aren't going to come to some friendly bond at some point in time in the future, I do believe that there's a space for all of us to succeed. Like I said, this place is bigger. This place is bigger than you think. Minnesota should not only be the stopping point for people in their careers. If you want to be the local guy, you want to be local famous, cool. But I promise you, it's not lucrative. Think bigger than the city that you in. A lot of the times the people in your city don't support you, but you have to understand that that is not something that you should be reaching for or depending on or expecting at that. I got love for all the platforms out here in Minnesota, and I want to see everybody succeed in their own right. And I mean that. You know what I'm saying? Respect to both those gentlemen, respect to both their platforms and what they're trying to achieve. I will say that it is a little disappointing to me that when drama is on the plate, people are quick to eat at that motherfucker. But when there's real topics and real things to be discussed and to be talked about, people pay no attention to it or ignore it. And yesterday was a lot of people's first time tuning in to an interview on Live on Lake Street. Although they've already had people tuning in and a bunch of people around the city already talking about them. But to see people from the city say, oh, this is the first time I tuned in, it's like it's always some drama that is surrounded by people's first, impression of some shit. And then it will inevitably cloud their judgment of how they feel about the platform, because then they want to try to see more drama, more salacious shit, when really it's a lot of value in the platform itself and the type of content that comes out of there. These guys work hard to push what they have going on, and I see it and I know it firsthand. So I wish we all would come to a common ground at some point, man. And I think that's been one of the main things that have held this city back specifically, is the fact that people develop this hate in their mind or develop a dislike for somebody because they're either buzzing at the time, popular, got something going on, everybody's talking about them but not talking about them. It's always, so it's the bottom line of it is envy at the end of the day, and I don't like that shit. We all have to be looking out for one another. That's how all these other places, like when Prince was talking about Atlanta, that's how all these other places were able to succeed as a whole, because they all got behind each other. Pause while I'm talking about Atlanta. They all got behind each other and helped push each other to where they needed to be. And they supported each other. Now, I'm not saying that everybody deserves your support, because some niggas is trash. Some niggas is Mick ass gas. Pure fart clouds. But at the end of the day, we have enough talent, enough great artists and entertainers that we can push this shit forward, help people develop, help people become greater than what they are today, and actually have some respect on the scene out here. But the rate that we going, it's only going to be a local thing. Niggas just going to be stuck local. If you don't want to be stuck local, man, think bigger than the city that you in. Now, GMS fam, the Green Room, and anybody out there in the city that tuned in today, do me a big favor, man. Hit that like button on the way out. Follow me on my socials. I follow everybody back. You can become a member of the GMS show by clicking the join button right below. Super chats are back up. Hit the Cash App today if you are feeling generous. We'll most appreciate it. You will be helping out the GMS show a lot. Put a GMS in the chat, and I want to see y'all in that comment section when the live is over. Let's go. Shout out to all Minnesota media outlets. Whoa. Interesting. Hey. Cold in the bitch outside. Oh yeah, I meant to say, I'm going on Twitch tonight. Playing new beats, playing new music, going on Twitch tonight. So make sure GMS fan to pull up to Twitch later tonight. Let's vibe out, all right? I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here, roll something, enjoy the rest of the day. I hope you do the same. GMS fam, I will see y'all back here tomorrow, and I'll see y'all Friday. Make sure you tune in to the 3Gs. We missed last week, but we will be back this week to talk our shit, man. Shout out to AP, free my nigga Pac G, 3Gs family, GMS family. I'll see y'all later this week. Have a good one. Peace.